Hey everyone, my name is Simon Mishevich from Optimize Accountants. In this video, we're going to be talking about the UK rental market. Specifically, I'm also going to look at the return on investment hotspots, what has the best rental yields, and what on earth is going on in London. All right, let's get into the detail. First of all, I think it's worth noting about the house prices, what is going on in the market. Right now, in different locations, we're seeing a increasing property value. Yes, increasing, which is really surprising. If we look at year on year, Northwest, 1.2% annual increase. We've also got areas like the Northeast, which is only decreased by 0.8%, not the 35% that some reporters were suggesting. Now, let's have a look at the areas that aren't doing so well. And interestingly enough, the flip side of what that means for the rental market. House prices in London, minus 4.8%. Wow, nearly 5% creeping up. Southeast, minus 4.6%. And worryingly about the Southeast is even the monthly change is minus 1.9%. They're hurting right now. And that annual change of minus 4.6% is likely to be felt even more next month. So let's have a look at more detail about UK rents. It's suggested by the ONS. Private rental prices paid by tenants in the UK rose by 6.2% in the 12 months to January 2024, unchanged for the second consecutive months. Annual private rents prices increased by 6.1% in England, 7% in Wales, and 6.8% in Scotland. That is surprising that rents have gone up. Bearing in mind, we're talking about inflation, everything's gone up. But rent as well, you can understand why people have less money now to buy luxury items because the rents that they're paying has gone up. And the fuel, so make sure that home is warm, has also gone up drastically. This is a real pressure for people, but the rental market may be here to stay simply because as we get into recession, people may not be able to afford the homes and decide to sell the property for less money than they actually bought it for in some cases. That means they may have some money, but it's going to have to go towards paying rent. Rent may well go up as landlords and investors buy those properties up if prices go down. If we look at rents by country, the startling graph is showing that Northern Ireland has drastically increased up to 10% in recent times. So if you're not investing in Northern Ireland, why not? And if you are investing in Northern Ireland, please tell me what on earth is going on and are you happy you made that investment? UK rental areas now, we've got to look at England. Yes, a good average of 6.2% it says, but West Midlands is outperforming it, as is London. What? London is increasing. Property prices in London are nearly minus 5%, and yet the rentals in London are increasing. Does that suggest that people are saying, hey, I can't afford to live there, let's not because it's too expensive, therefore house prices are going down, and yet the rentals are going up? That's an interesting statistic to share with you. More people obviously going to London to get jobs as the recession hits. That might happen even more because the biggest areas for job and employment will be London compared to any other city. So it makes more sense for people to migrate down to there from other areas in the United Kingdom. Now, if we look at rental yields, this is from Rightmove, a really fascinating report here, that we look at rental yield itself. We've got average yield of 8.1%, which is really, really good to see. And then you are looking at Northeast at 8.7%, Yorkshire at 7%. These are good margins. If you're investing in those areas may well be the best areas for you. And I'll tell you the reason why, because look at these areas. There is no other area that's reaching the 8% that we're seeing on these two. So Scotland and Northeast, excess of 8% yields. And yet every other area in this showing less than 8%. And that's because property prices are more expensive. Again, what you've got to look at is the poorer performing. Typically, you're going to find that as in London. London at 5.4%, not surprising whatsoever. And the reason for that is property prices are still very expensive. And yet, 5.4%, not a bad yield when you would expect properties to increase in value in London. But we're not, are we? We're seeing a decrease year on year of 5% in London with a yield of 5.4%. It does not make sense for an investor to be buying properties in London right now, because who knows where property prices in London will go in the next 12 months. And if you're not making a good yield, what is the point? You may be looking at further north. Northwest, interestingly enough, of Liverpool, Manchester, 7.2%, and house prices aren't doing too badly up there at all. So that gives you an indication of where you might want to invest in the future. Zoopla also provide a very, very useful by city demographic of what's going on. So please pause this video. I'm not going to dwell too much on this one, but hopefully it tells you that rentals is still a good market despite what the government are trying to do to attack landlords and property investors. There's still good money to be made out there. So still invest your money in property is what I'm saying to you.